and in the back. Yeah? There you go. Rock and roll.
I craved you. I missed you. Waiting for this very moment. Time to flow.
Over the past many decades that we have seen horror films with all the ghosts and creatures that these Hollywood studios have introduced us to, some more scary than others, well, today we wanted to go behind the scenes and find out just how these movie studios created some of these scariest ghost and horror films, including *Malignant*, *The Conjuring*, and last year's film that got pretty popular, *Talk to Me*. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
I wanted to make her more realistic looking. So not white, but pale. A lot more veins, blue veins, red veins, just gradations of grays. Of course, she kept her amazing eyes.
But before we get into more of these moments, some trivia for you. *Malignant* is known for being a little bit out of reach for some of its audiences, or at least having a lot of obvious scenes that kind of tell the story, like the first 5 minutes of the opening credits, basically telling the whole plot, but having watched the film for the first time, you wouldn't realize it. But in what scene do we first see *Malignant's* signature weapon? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
This is a face piece. It's the foam latex, and it's actually sculpted on his face, so all the movement out of his face will transfer through the foam latex piece. It's pushing 100 degrees right now inside the trailer. As he becomes the devil even more, it gets hotter in here.
The hood on it feels very bird-like.
The ferryman is a really amazing outfit. The only makeup I really have on me is just my hands are painted. There's a full costume that goes on with a shirt and pants and these giant boots, and then big cloak that goes on with this voluminous hood, and then this mask, which is beautiful. It's really mummified looking skull face with these coins in the eyes.
Starting with the 2009 movie *Drag Me to Hell*, this was a 1969 setting film written and directed by Sam Raimi, having worked on it before the Spider-Man trilogy films.
Oh, that was, well, it was fine until Sam asked me to open my mouth. That was kind of disgusting. Oh my God.
Raimi said he set out to create a horror film with lots of wild moments and lots of suspense and big shocks that'll hopefully make audiences jump, but he also wanted to have a lot of dark humor sprinkled throughout it.
We made an articulated head so that the neck could move, and we put a giant tube in the back of the head, loaded the tube with a big plunger, and then on action we would literally just push the plunger down and push out an entire plunger full of maggots and slime and worms, and it was disgusting.
The effects in *Drag Me to Hell* were created in many different ways, including green screen, puppets, prosthetics, and computer-generated imagery.
It's not too bad, yeah. It's just weird when you're used to being able to see and you can't out of the one eye. But it's not too bad.
The people who worked on my makeup. I don't have a lot of prosthetics, so, you know, you're still working with my own face.
When Alison Lohman was cast, she underwent rigorous preparation. In addition to watching several old horror movies, she performed nearly all of her own stunts in the film. One exception comes in the final graveyard scene, in which Lohman's body double was used for a quick shot.
I got his hand. Have continuous shots, flowing where you know it's her and she's going through it.
This film has probably been the most exhausting film I've ever worked on.
Throughout the film, they never wanted to show too much of the monster in order to keep the suspense and not to cheapen the effect. The shots of the monster were very brief, but they were fairly important because they were the only shots where you see the monster in full detail.
One time that dance, please. All right, here's the dance. Down below, grab her other ankle, please. Thank you. Descend left leg, right arm reach, right leg, yank her hair back. And then break free with your left arm reach toward play, and that's how we end it.
Throughout most of the film, the demon only appears in shadows, and even in the climactic scene where the demon is fully revealed, it is only for a brief second.
Action! Now, haters! Got it. Get rid of that coat. Get down there and make it happen. God.
With *Malignant*, this film that follows protagonist Madison as she unravels a telepathic connection with a twisted killer named Gabriel and discovers secrets from her past.
That's pretty good. Now look to the other way. There. Look to your right, like as far, come like almost look at me. And then look up. Now let's try the wig on.
When creating this film, director and producer James Wan knew audiences nowadays wanted something new and fresh and something not adapted. Somewhat it can be risky, but the way he talks about it with repetitive haunted house films that he has done before, you really get to see his vision and what he wanted this film to say.
Tip your head down a little bit, look left and right, body still trembling, pain hard, tip your head forward, you're trembling, tremble more, dig in there, dig in the skull, yeah. He emerges from here, unleashing his wrath.
But real quick, make sure you guys check out our Instagram page linked down in the description. There's a ton of interview moments and memes, so make sure you check it out and give us a follow.
Gabriel really is this monster, this ghoul, this villain of this world.
At one point, we even get to see how they did the makeup design for the face behind Madison's head.
Go ahead, man. Give us more personality.
No.
Oh my God, you get the tongue and everything.
There's this too.
And I want to come around to show Annabelle.
No.
Next, we can move on to The Conjuring. Given that this film was based on real events and paranormal investigations was scary enough, but again, with this being another James Wan movie, it's clear that he knows what he's doing in terms of creating these scary ghosts.
He is 7 feet tall, skinnier than anyone is possible to be. Not a special effect. He is an actor who is so gifted at making this character come to life.
He's really, really unbelievable. In that suit, so great with his movement and his long arms and fingers.
From the samurai to the bride to the Annabelle doll herself, while there are a ton of ghosts and things that were scary in the Conjuring universe, the real backstories made it all the more scary while watching these movies.
He's almost done. The next step is going to be the lenses. We do the lenses last and the teeth. Done.
And just seeing that picture of this gargoyle and what it's become has been extraordinary.
Cool. All right.
Talk to Me was one of the last year's biggest horror films, developed by A24. The film follows a group of teenagers who discover they were able to contact spirits using a mysterious embalmed hand, only for things to go too far.
You know, we cut things out of the film that are from the script because you need to convey them when they're on page, but you don't need to when they're on screen because they're conveyed through emotion and looks and things like that. So it was amazing having all talented, performers to work with on that stuff.
They've got a unique background with YouTube and everything.
Sophia Wilde and Zio went into an interview talking about some of the scenes and the fact that they were actually kind of frightened while shooting it because all the people walking around on the set with the masks on.
Look, you're not meant to see people looking like that in real life.
Yeah.
And we had to every day.
There's like this one scene I had to do where I was in a room and it was actually 40 naked people with masks on and they were covered in slime and they were writhing and I had to run through them and I went home that night and I was I'm actually traumatized.
Even with the most recent film, The Nun 2, there was of course a lot of wire work and use of fog and of course CGI to get the nuns' eyes the color they were. And lastly, we can talk about the one and only Annabelle doll. For those of you who don't know, the Annabelle doll is a real doll. with the same story that we see in the movie behind it. However, the one we see in the film is almost nothing like the real one in the Warren Museum.
What we designed in The Conjuring is a very effective doll.
Okay, cut. That's great.
She's way bigger than I thought she was going to be.
I think it's very important that she looks somewhat human.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, James Wan does a hell of a job building a slasher icon out of Gabriel, the Gabriel's weapon. A gold surgical statue that's been modified into a dagger is no small part of that. During the first scene where Dr. Weaver is in her introductory video diary about Gabriel, you'll see the still intact statue proudly displayed in her office behind her.
This movie has some really creepy stuff. The way I think about Gabriel is that Gabriel is a human being. He's Madison's twin. So the whole process starts with a design. James selected some designs, and together we looked at these things and refined the designs to the point where we could start working on a clay sculpture.
But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What were your thoughts on all of this, and what is the scariest creature or ghost you have seen in a movie? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
This is a makeup test that we're doing for this prosthetic specifically. I've never tried this one on until now.
The prosthetics and blood are definitely something. It's quite an experience, to say the least. I'm in my heavy prosthetic and covered in sticky blood.